Welcome back to the Test Podcast. I'm your host, Robbie. Across from me is my fishing buddy, Adam Nielsen. And across from both of us is our co-host, Dusty Nixon, all the way from Tejas.
How hot is it in Texas?
It's actually not bad this week.
It's only 97?
No, it's like 85, I bet.
Yeah, so it's low 90s right now. We randomly at work today had a thunderstorm that was the size of a small city. It dumped like 5 inches of rain in 1 hour. And
yeah.
Oh, people panic in Texas for that.
They were legit like doing water rescues and stuff. It rained for an hour and shut down the entire city. Yeah.
It was like 80-something here, too.
Yeah, it's like 163% humidity.
Yeah, well, I mean...
I went for a run on Monday, which would be yesterday.
Uh-huh.
And like it kind of rained a little bit. And I was like looking out the window at work. I'm like, damn it, I was going to run outside today. It was like these little tiny storm cells. So like,
yeah, it was so weird yesterday.
Like nothing. Like it was just like a little bit of rain here, and then like no rain over there.
Yeah.
And it's like so.
Like you cross the street and it's totally dry.
Yep.
But on that side of it's
soaked,
fucking downpouring.
So I got off work and I went to the trail, and it was like really nice out. Not nice out, but like it wasn't raining.
Yeah.
So I go start running. It's like immediately
just
like
awful.
just sweat and bullets, and I did my 2 laps and came home, and I'm like soaked,
gross,
head to toe.
Yeah. yeah.
Did you go for a run? Yeah, clearly.
Air conditioning.
I need a gallon of water.
Last week on Monday at the airport, it was a heat index of 110 degrees, which was like 2 or 3 degrees off of our high record.
Oh, man.
Pretty close to it. And Wednesday morning, at the same place, we recorded a temperature of 59 degrees, which was only 4 degrees warmer than our current record low, set in 1884.
Oh, man.
And so in a literally a 72-hour period, we went from 59 degrees to a heat index of 110.
What a weird place.
I was amazing.
It's like whenever we had the cold snap that killed all those people.
It was just barely below freezing.
I know, it was like 30.
No, it was like -4 or something, and by 48 hours later, it was like 55 degrees. So it was like like if you factored in the wind chill, it was like a 70-degree swing or something like that.
Wild.
We have one of the largest temperature swings when you factor in heat index and wind chill of any place in the world. Like we regularly reach nearly 150-degree temperature swings annually.
You guys basically live on the moon.
Yeah, it sucks. Don't come here.
That's right. Fucking stay out.
Yeah.
We don't want you here anyway.
Yeah, I was the worst. You don't want to come here.
I heard there's a lot of job opportunities in Iowa.
I mean, there
to all you people that listen from California.
You stop it. You stop it right now. They're already in Texas.
Yeah, but they're bad-paying jobs. You don't want them.
Yep. Actually, everything's a bad-paying job when you compare it to a California salary.
Exactly. Just go with it, Robbie. Roll with it, Robbie. Just let it happen.
The good news is your two-bedroom efficiency whatever apartment in California, it will get you 3 mansions in Iowa. So
it's not quite that much, but yeah.
Your mortgage would cover like a 2-bedroom house or like a 2-bedroom apartment in most California cities.
I can't remember who was telling me this. It was, I want to say it's Jess's friend's family member or something.
Okay.
They live in an apartment in New York.
Oh God. I'm glad I'm sitting down for this.
Ooh.
And I think they said that
let's take a guess, Adam.
Do you have any of the deets? Like, was it a 2-bedroom?
Let's just say for the sake of conversation, it's a 2-bedroom apartment in New York.
Okay.
I honestly can't remember the exact specifics.
Right.
It's a conversation we had like a week.
I mean, I'm just going to guess, just shooting off the hip here, $3,800 or $3,200 a month.
Okay.
And I'm going to guess there's almost no amenities. Obviously, you probably don't know that information, but
I don't.
I'll bet they also have utility bills.
Yeah, let's assume it's. I don't have these informations.
Right.
Let's assume that it's not a shithole. How about that?
Based on the people.
I want to say they're like med. They were like pre-med, or like I want to say they're either nurses or doctors or like but they're young. They're young,
Right.
Like younger than us.
Okay.
So they're not far in their careers. I know that.
Okay.
But I know it's not a shithole.
Okay.
So it's a decent apartment in New York.
$3,200 a month.
I was initially thinking like $2,750. So
Okay. Okay.
At least 6,000.
Oh, dude, do you know what a $6,000 a month mortgage would pull here?
Yep. Anything you want.
I mean,
within reason. Anything you want.
I get like you don't, I don't even want you to say, but like I assume that's multiples of your mortgage.
Yeah, for sure.
Fuck.
That's
more than 6 of my mortgage, for the record.
Yeah, it's a big one.
And my mortgage includes my tax and insurance escrow.
Yeah, mine does.
Like mine's rolled in.
Yeah, mine does all that.
So like there's that's more than 6 of my mortgage.
They could have a lakefront estate in Iowa.
They could have 2.
Then they'd have to drive down gravel, and that's a deal breaker for like 80% of the people.
They could probably buy 2 of these houses.
Yeah. Yeah, nobody's driving down gravel, so that's the problem.
It's fine. It's better than
all our roads are gravel. Everyone needs to know
every
road in Iowa.
Even the interstates.
Yep, it's gravel. Don't even come here.
Even 35.
I mean, they're still better than Chicago roads, but like it is what it is.
Yeah, there's that. Glad I don't have to drive through Chicago anytime soon.
Yeah.
But you know what you do after you get done driving through Chicago and you go home after having a bad weekend?
You go fishing?
No, you just leave the country.
Oh.
That's what I did.
As one does.
Yeah. You're just like, you know what? I've had enough of this place.
I mean,
I'm leaving.
You know how you celebrate one really expensive weekend?
You get into another 2 expensive weeks.
Two expensive weeks.
Yep.
What you did wrong was come back.
That is a hard fact. If you okay, so quick aside. So after Midwest Festival, they like literally the next day. So
yeah, it was literally the next day.
Yeah, so we had Midwest Festival Thursday, Friday, Saturday. Obviously drove home Sunday, and I was on a plane to Europe Monday.
Yep.
At 6:00.
Yep.
Actually, I was on a plane to Chicago on Monday at 6:00.
Took you longer than it should have.
Then I was in Chicago.
Into Europe.
I was in Chicago at the airport from like 8:00 until like 3 a.m. Nah, I don't think it was quite.
We could have drove to Chicago.
We easily could have drove to Chicago until they finally canceled our flight, and then we got a free hotel because they canceled our flight.
Okay.
And then our next flight didn't leave till 2 the next day, so we lost a day. So we had to spend it in a hotel in Chicago. Or actually, we're in the airport and then slept in the hotel, obviously. And then spent the next 2 weeks in Europe. And yes,
Le Mans.
I was at the 24 Hours of Le Mans. And then we did a few days a day in Paris, a few days in Interlaken, Switzerland, and then a few days in Venice.
Or, as beginning of the podcast, Robbie would have said, Le Mans.
Le Mans.
Le Mans.
It was Le Mans.
He was in Venice, Italy.
Venice, Italy. It was great.
Hanging out with those Italians.
Those Italians.
I was to say, they speak Italian over there, right?
They speak a lot of Italian, and they have a lot of Italian pastas.
Yeah, I'm going to guess that keto's not popular there.
I'm going to like here's a controversial statement I'll make right away.
Uh-huh.
Pasta's the same over there as this here. Whatever, it's pasta. I like legitimately had almost. I had like a little pasta. Did you expect
it wouldn't be?
No, everyone's talking like, "Oh, you gotta have the pasta." So then I had some pasta.
I mean, you do gotta have the pasta.
It was like whatever, dude. You know what was really good there in Venice? The sushi. Oh my god,
Robbie,
so good,
Robbie,
so good and so fresh.
The water runs literally right next to the restaurant.
Yeah, you just toss a line out.
There is that. There'd be great fishing in Venice.
I'm well aware, Robbie.
That is one thing that like here in America, everything is price gouged. Like if you go anywhere that's an air quote tourist place, pay double for what. Anything.
Oh yeah.
You know what place doesn't have that? Venice.
Really?
Like Italy in general.
That's just reasonably priced.
Shit was so cheap. Switzerland, other end of the spectrum. Everything in Switzerland's expensive, but it's like
it's because of that neutrality. They just get gouged by other people.
That's fair.
It's not a real place.
Like we'll just talk about the rest of the trip, and then we'll go back to Le Mans. Like we'll take like 2 minutes to talk about the trip. So like, we'll go back to Le Mans,
fine.
and then we'll talk about the week after.
No one
that.
cares about the racing, Robbie.
Okay, so after Le Mans, we went to Paris for a day,
as one does.
So we go because the only reason we went was because we flew into Paris, took the train to Le Mans. Was in Le Mans for the week, and we'll talk about it in a minute. And then we took the train back to Paris, where we had to go get to another train to go to Switzerland.
Right.
And it was like a 6-hour.
Trains are great.
Trains are amazing.
Trains are America's biggest mistake.
Yep.
We should look into trains.
Definitely.
So, so we take the train from Le Mans to Paris, and then the other train stations, like basically across. Just legitimately like half hour to a 45-minute walk. But the things in between are like, if you go to the left, you have the Eiffel Tower. If you go kind of to the straight left, then you got like the Louvre. And then you have like the Cathedral of Notre Dame. And they're all kind of in that area. And then they all, what else did we, the Cathedral of Notre Dame. And then you go basically straight from there to the train station. And on paper, just like, oh, that's not that far. I Google mapped it to go from train station 1 to the Eiffel Tower, which we did, to the Louvre, which we like walked past. Because again, we didn't have time to actually go to these things.
It's like a full day to go into the Louvre.
So we just walked to it to see it, and then walked past it. And keep in mind, we're carrying full backpacks.
Yeah, because we
backpacked.
You guys packed your entire 2 weeks into a backpack,
a carry-on. Yep, a carry-on.
Which is impressive.
Yeah. And even
that's
then,
a testament to the low maintenance level of Jess.
Yeah. And truth be told, we both were like, we brought too much stuff.
Really?
Oh, yeah. And Paris was the day that we really believed it.
Because
we carried it.
Ton of walking.
Yeah. So we did a walking tour of Paris carrying 2 weeks worth of shit on our backs. So we walked. Christ. So we walked from the train station to the Eiffel Tower, from the Eiffel Tower to the Louvre, from the Louvre to I think we went and got lunch then. Then we went to the Cathedral of Notre Dame. Again, you can't go into any of this shit. You just look on the outside. Then we walk from there to.
It's not that you can't. It's that you didn't have time.
Yeah, like the line alone would have been a whole day to get into these things.
Right.
Because like we were at the Eiffel Tower at like 8 a.m.
Yeah.
There was already like 30 people in line. And it opened at like 8:30 or 9.
Right.
So, and I don't care enough to like. It would have been okay to go to the top, but I'm not. Whatever. It's legitimately the only thing I wanted to see in Paris that I didn't get to see was the catacombs.
I would have loved to go into the cathedral.
No one can go into the cathedral because it almost burned to the ground.
Oh, that's right.
So, like, you can go sit and look at people working on it.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
They're still trying to put it back together?
Yeah, they're like a $2 billion restoration.
Oh, seriously?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, my God. That's insane.
But, yeah, so...
I forgot all about that.
So, if we had straight lined it to each of these things, which, of course, we didn't. We kind of, like, meandered and then, like, get lost and... as you do. So if we had gone straight from one thing to the next, according to Google Maps, it's a 2 hour and 36-minute walk.
That's a lot of walking.
Yep. We did 13 miles that day.
Oh my God. That sounds awful.
If you count everything to the train, from the trains, if you count every step we took, 13 miles.
That sounds awful.
That's all like
This sounds like the second time that Jen and I went to New York, we did backpacks like that, and yeah, we walked that much nearly every day.
Yeah, I mean that's just what Jess and I do on vacations. So like we went to Colorado for a handful of days, and all we did was just hike through the mountains. And like we get to Switzerland, and we didn't go anywhere.
Right.
Like we went. Like the only thing we went to was like we went to the top of Europe, which is like you take a train to literally the top of the mountain.
Right.
Which is covered in snow and ice, which is amazing.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's the middle of June and you're standing on top of a mountain. It's like
so cool.
It's like taking a bite into a York peppermint patty. You're just all of a sudden at the top of a mountain.
Huh.
So like that was like the only thing that we did. Everything else was just like hiking in the mountains around Interlaken.
Yeah. Did you yell Ricola when you were up there?
There's a lot of people up there,
but yes.
Yeah, of course it did.
Because anything to embarrass Jess.
Yeah, and there was like an ice palace inside the thing. Mm-hmm. So like even Jess, who gets immediately cold, was totally into it.
Yeah, it's 110. She's still got a blanket on her lap.
Yep. Which is why she's not allowed to complain about air conditioning not being out. Yeah. So other than that, was like, yeah, just like going and seeing the things and then trying the foods. And my only complaint is about how expensive Switzerland is because like we go to, like, we didn't stay in Interlaken, we stayed in Wilderswil, which is like a 3-minute train ride. And they only had a couple restaurants in that really tiny town because we were in a hotel that was built in like the 1600s. You know, it was like a 10-room hotel that's just
kind of cool though,
just super tiny. And so this restaurant like just a couple blocks away had really excellent reviews, and we're like, oh yeah, well, let's check that out. And sorry, I'm trying to like match the pictures. So what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
So then we get there, and it's like, it's just a restaurant. It's got like burgers and fries and all their sodas over there are way better than ours. All of them,
that
literally,
sounds about right.
Literally every single one of them.
Yeah, probably.
It's just, and then like
because they're made with real things and not chemicals.
Yes, like the Fantas over there have like actual orange juice in it.
Yeah,
and it's fucking delicious.
I bet it is.
It's like, and then there's Oranginas. They taste like mimosas.
Okay,
without alcohol, obviously. I had one every day, dude. They were amazing.
What I don't understand is why is it different here?
Because ours are full of sugar and chemicals.
I know, but like, it's not like ours taste better.
No, it's way worse.
So like, why don't they sell that one here?
Like, legitimately,
because it's more expensive to produce, and the regulations over there won't let them make things the way that they do here.
Yeah, I suppose.
Yeah, no joke. I would like I haven't drank a soda, an American soda, since I've come back.
Yeah,
I miss the Oranginas so bad.
Can you like
Amazon them?
Acquire them?
I don't know.
Now you're gonna get some.
I am going to now.
You're going to end up with a 55-gallon drum of Orangina on your porch.
I'd be so happy. But like, I can't say I had. The only stuff I've had is like the free NOSes that I've gotten from Grid Life.
Oh god!
Because we got 40 of them.
I've been trying
48 of them. We got 48 NOSes. So
yes.
I've drank a few of those.
I've been trying to pace myself.
I don't want to do that because there's so many of them.
I only put one in the fridge.
I put 2 in the fridge at a time.
Put one in the fridge at a time. And I try not to drink more than 1 or more than 2 a week. So,
yeah.
Your kidneys and liver are probably thankful for that.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not like on the off nights or on the off days I drink anything remarkably better.
Yeah, your root beer.
Well, that's different. But like I drink because I don't like coffee.
No.
But I need caffeinated things in my life because I'm a human. I'm an adult.
Yeah.
So I drink Mountain Dew, which is probably better than NOS.
No.
It probably is.
It probably is not.
It probably is.
It probably is not.
Because there's probably more
it
bullshit in
has
NOS.
And it's got yellow 5 in it, too.
I don't actually drink straight Mountain Dew.
It's got electrolytes and what plants crave.
It's
so
what plants crave.
Yeah, so you're fine there.
Yeah, that's true.
But anyways, so there was a restaurant that was at a hotel that we didn't stay at that was right across the way that had really good reviews in Wheelersville. And this picture that I have up, this was from the patio.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
So this, like, as you're eating, this is what you're looking at. Obviously it's a mountain scene. So
it's a background on a computer is what it is.
That's what Switzerland is.
The
whole
just
place.
A bunch of screensavers.
Everywhere you look, it's just screensavers. It's the most beautiful place in the world.
It's their primary export. It's like 60% of their GDP is computer backgrounds.
Stock pictures.
As you come, as you're coming into the country from France on the train, it's just like everything just gets nicer and better and better and better. And all of a sudden, it's just like mountains and the most beautiful scenery you've ever seen, and like all these like quaint little tiny houses. And dude, I could go back right now. Yeah, so we go to this restaurant and we're sitting there and it's just a pretty small menu. It's just like burgers and a couple other things, and it's the menu's in Swiss francs, and that's like I think it's like 1.27 times for American dollars. And we're looking at it, I was like, okay, that's all right. Well, this burger looks good. That's 36 Swiss francs. That's a $40 burger each, with like a tiny cup of fries.
No, I can't.
And I will say this.
But it's the view. You're paying for the view.
I will say this. That might be the best fucking beef I've ever had.
It better be. It was $40.
So good. I like seriously.
Oof.
I ate so well. Like even the food at like the food trucks at Le Mans were so good, and then everything in Switzerland was amazing.
It was probably food that I would eat too.
Oh yeah.
Like it's not a bunch of weird, obscure bullshit eatery A crap.
I mean, there's a lot of that.
Right.
Because like this isn't just some like
but like
pressed patty slapped onto a bun. Like
Right,
this was like it had like a it's like not like a salsa, but it had like because that's a bagel. That's not actually a bun. That's a bagel.
It's a bagel.
But their bagels are even better over there because they're soft.
Oh yeah, because they're
so good.
Yeah.
God, I'm hungry. And like that. That's not ketchup. That's
too.
not ketchup. It's like a salsa.
That's weird.
It's so good.
I mean, I wouldn't eat that anyway. I don't eat ketchup either, though.
It was really sweet though.
I eat almost no condiments.
I know.
I'm pretty boring.
We know.
It's a shock to nobody.
Yeah, no pepper, no salt, no condiments.
That's not true. I eat pepper and salt. I actually put quite a few seasonings on my food. I just don't put condiments on them.
That's fair. But yeah, so we spent a few days in the Interlaken in that area anyways, and then just doing a little bit of touristy stuff, otherwise mostly just hiking. Then we went to Venice. Obviously Venice is a very beautiful city. Did a lot of walking around there. Kind of had like Las Vegas vibes. Like there's no nightlife. Like as soon as the sun goes down, everyone's just gone. It was really weird. Like way more than I thought it would be. Like you start walking around at like 10 o'clock and it's just like 6 people on the street. It's just nothing. I think there's like a nightlife district, but like in general, the city just shuts down. It's a tiny town. Venice is tiny. It's a very small town. But like everything else is like all these shops, and you walk around along these like really busy streets, and like every building has shops.
Yeah,
and that's just what you do. You just check out all the shops. So, but it just kind of had like that weird Vegas vibe in a good way.
Yeah,
if that makes sense.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about. Like when you walk down the strip and you just take in the sights.
Yeah, exactly. But like everything was cheap there. Everything was so cheap in Italy when it comes like especially with food. So like we sat down for a pizza for 2, big like a legitimate, nice, good like I don't know if it was wood fired, but like like that type of pizza,
right?
An Italian pizza,
with like the weird mozzarella on it and stuff like that.
Yeah, we had one with like truffle and stuff on it. Jess didn't like it, I did, and then but this other one was just like it was like a really good pepperoni pizza. We both had I think we just had sparkling water at that one, and you have to pay for like water's all bottled there, and you don't get tap water, you have to buy water.
Oh,
so if you order water, you're buying it.
Yeah.
So that was the only thing that like you could argue was price gouged, but everything else was dirt cheap. So like we had a pizza, 2 waters, and gelato for like $21. Freaking crazy.
Okay.
And then there was all you could eat sushi.
Oh God, Robbie's in.
Legitimately, all you can eat sushi, $19 a person.
What?
Yes.
What?
$19 a person.
That's cheap.
I ate until I was sick.
I bet
and I
you
wanted
did.
to keep going.
I'm sure
it was
you
so
did.
good.
Oh, Robbie.
And then there was one night I had
to travel.
Yeah,
I meant to travel to Italy so I can save money on food.
Yeah, Italy was great, man. Italy was great.
Even with the plane ticket, it's still cheaper than going to Mount Rushmore.
That's probably very true. No, I loved it. I loved every second of it. And then we don't have to get into like all the touristy things that we did. Like just. But anyways, like the original reason that we went obviously was for the 24-hour Le Mans, and we talked about doing this.
I was going to say this is multiple years in the making.
Yep. So, I'm trying to think where I want to start. But yeah, so this was supposed to happen in 2020. Yeah, right after we got married. It was basically supposed to be a honeymoon. So we were going to tag on with Booney and go to the 24 Hours of Le Mans and basically do this exact trip.
Right.
Because this is, like, Jess counts it as our honeymoon, but, whatever. It was, if it counts, it counts.
Nailed it.
Yeah. So we did.
Side note, Jess apparently has always wanted to go to Switzerland.
Oh, yeah.
So, like, that's how Robbie's getting away with going to Le Mans for his honeymoon, is that she has always really wanted to go to Switzerland.
Well, she's always wanted to travel, and like that, like we both want to travel more,
right?
And then there's like I've always prioritized like racing, and now it's like we're getting to the point where like we have we're more financially stable and like we're in our careers where we can be like prioritize traveling a little bit more. So like that's what we're doing.
Right.
And this was kind of that year that we really kicked that off.
Right.
So we like she was totally on board with going to Europe. Didn't really matter when, and was totally fine with like parlaying it into a trip for like the 24 Hours Le Mans or something like obviously for me, and then we do the rest of the trip for her.
Right.
Or, obviously I'm enjoying all of it too.
Right. Both of you enjoy all parts of it, but
yeah. So she was fully on board. Actually, she did way better at the race than I thought she would.
Yeah.
So like, it wasn't that warm. It was like 60s.
Oh,
like throughout the day, and it was kind of rainy throughout, and like then at night it got kind of cold, like in the 50s.
It's never
it was
that
kinda,
nice.
Yeah, it wasn't great, and we like it had some proper rain, and and so like we showed up on race day. We showed up at like 9 a.m. right, and the race didn't even start till 4.
Okay.
So then
and it doesn't finish until the next day.
Yeah. So like so we were there at 9 a.m. Watched like some of the pre-race stuff, like the Road to Le Mans race, the Super Trofeos stuff going on, and then like obviously the start of the race, and then she stuck it out till 12:30 before she finally said, "I need to go back to the apartment."
Right.
And shortly thereafter, but they had that gigantically long caution because of the rain.
Yeah, it was absurd.
So then we got our nap in, and then came back once the weather cleared, and it was kind of like perfect timing.
Yeah, yeah.
And she stuck it out for the whole next day to finish the race. So like I said, we got stuck in Chicago, and we got to Le Mans. So we flew out Tuesday at like 2-3 o'clock. I can't remember exactly.
Okay.
And by the time we got to, maybe it was a little later than that. Basically, by the time we got to Paris, it was like 7 a.m., I think, 6 a.m. maybe, early in the morning. So you basically spend the whole flight, sleeping if you can.
Yeah.
And then you wake up and it's early morning. It's go time. So we go straight from the airport to the train to Le Mans. We take the train there. I did a really good job of sleeping every chance I got. Jess not some, but like it didn't hit me till later with how tired I really was, because like with grid life and all that stuff leading up to this.
Oh yeah.
So Wednesday we get there and we're all on adrenaline. Like we get to Le Mans, we get our stuff dropped off, and we just.
So you guys stayed in like an apartment basically.
We had 2 apartments or flats as they call them. So. Booney booked us with 2 flats. So him and Brandon stayed at one, and then Jess and I, and then Jay, who is the owner of like Eatery A and those restaurants here in town.
Okay.
We were at the other one. So it was actually kind of cool to get to know him and hang out with him.
Oh man, Robbie's set now.
I guess, he's like,
you know a guy.
I know a guy that has like the best restaurants in Des Moines.
Debatable.
Not debatable.
What to say, is this the guy that owns the restaurant that Adam was just pooping on 5 minutes ago?
Yeah, Adam does that.
I'm not a fan.
I love it.
I don't get it.
Yep. It's great.
I don't get it.
But yeah, so like we got all our stuff put together and like, grab lunch or whatever, and then went straight to the track Wednesday. And then like Wednesday's kind of the perfect time to go, because not everyone's like, they're doing practice and stuff all week.
Yeah.
And all the teams are there. Everything's set up already, but not all the spectators are there yet.
Right.
Because Le Mans is, excuse me. So like the only thing I can describe it is that the whole, the track's huge, right?
Yeah.
It's like the
one of the biggest tracks.
The course is huge.
Yeah.
It's like multiple villages, right?
It goes through towns.
Yep. And yep.
Because
However,
normally it's city streets, isn't it?
a lot of it, yeah. So where the spectators are, though, is the front straight, turns 1 and 2, down to Tete Rouge, and then like the last 2 corners. That's where all the shit is. Like everything else is just like
right. Well, the Mulsanne Straight is just like you watch the videos, it's
forever.
It just well be in pitch dark. Like they're just hurtling down these streets at 200 miles an hour, but it's completely dark. There's not a whole lot going on out there.
Yeah, there's people's houses like right there.
Yeah. How fucking wild.
Yeah. So there's like 330,000 people that show up to this.
Right.
So, and they're all kind of in that area.
Man, could you imagine something like that in America? There's no place where this would happen still. Some HOA would come in and fucking raise holy
Just ruin it.
hell.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, like, the core of this is what like Road America and Watkins Glen started out as, and that didn't even make it out of the 60s before
Right.
it was like, no, this is insane. What are you people doing?
Right.
In the 60s.
Yes.
Yeah. I love that they still do it.
Fully embrace it. Like,
And that not only do they do it, but like it seems like for the most part, I'm sure there's the fuddy-duddies, but for the most part, everyone's in it.
Yeah. So like you could tell. So like the only, again, I like people that aren't from Iowa State would know like they used to be what called Visha. It was like a week-long celebration in the spring that they would celebrate the colleges or whatever, right?
Right.
And if you were from Ames, but you weren't part of the college, you'd kind of like schedule a vacation that week to just get out of the city.
Yeah, it was kind of a shit
So
show.
so it kind of seems like there are people that are fully embrace it, that either like they own restaurants or, you know.
Oh yeah, I'm sure that this is like the like probably I would guess 3 weeks, the week before, the week of, and the week after are probably the most profitable for almost every business in that area.
Most likely. So like because they do, you know, they have a parade that goes through the city. They have like the trains go to and from the track only on those days. So it's just like the city embraces it, obviously, and all the restaurants are like welcome racers, or they know all these tourists are coming to town, and, and we're spending money.
300,000 people is nothing to shake a stick at
of a city that has like what 50,000,
right?
Maybe,
right.
So it's not a huge city. But yeah, so like
I mean, it's a pretty big city. It's big enough, Robbie.
It's big enough, but when
50,000 people is too many people.
But when you have 300,000 at the track, and most of them are tourists, so yeah. So but
I just want to reinforce that I'm painfully small town.
Oh yeah, I don't think I just want to. Yeah, I don't think anyone really questioned that one.
I'm fine with that. We have no stoplights in the town I live in. It's great.
Got plenty of casinos, though.
I don't have any casinos.
Not in their town.
It's Nevada.
Nope.
Ah,
nope. It's Nevada. The state pronounces it wrong because my town was established first. So
I don't think Nevada, the state, has any concern for what anyone else thinks of it.
We definitely don't have any concern for what Nevada thinks. It's Nevada. So
yeah. So yeah, we get there Wednesday, and we just it's set up kind of like the state fair. Like, you got vendors all over, you got booths, you got obviously the track as the main attraction, and then everything's kind of built around that. You got the stands and whatnot. So like in the middle, like or inside the track, is kind of where all the big like displays are. So like Ferrari's display, Peugeot Sports display, whatever. There's some restaurants that are set up just for this event that are $50 a plate. Damn it! It was excellent.
Was it though, or was it bullshit?
It was pretty good.
It was bullshit.
It was pretty good. The creme brulee was excellent.
Oh Jesus!
He had his pinky out.
But was it peach cobbler?
It wasn't.
It wasn't as good as the peach cobbler.
So Brandon, the guy that came with us, he bought the McLaren like VIP sit in the sit in the area with them.
Independently wealthy, isn't he?
He's in tech.
I assume that's not a cheap ticket.
It's not. So he was basically in McLaren HQ when he wasn't with us.
Okay.
So like when we went back to the flat, he went back to McLaren HQ and watched them watch the screens. Like all the teams were like anyone that was part of the team. Like, it was. I was very, very jealous.
I bet.
I think Booney got to utilize his pass for a little while. And see it. So we get there. It's not quite so busy. Like if it's 300,000 people on race day, there's probably like, I don't know, maybe 30,000 people spread out on Wednesday. Like it's not busy at all.
Right.
So we can give it a chance to like get the three souvenirs I got for the whole trip. I didn't buy anything. I got this little cup.
Okay.
That says 24 hours on it.
Yep.
I got these 24 hours of Le Mans
What the heck?
earplugs.
5. What's a CL? Cubic liter?
Yeah. I got a Toyota Gazoo blow up banger thing.
What is this thing?
Earplugs.
Oh.
And then the Peugeot Sport flag.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah, this was the only thing I really wanted. This was literally the only thing I cared about.
Oh, God.
That's awesome, even if they did sell out and put a wing on their car.
Yeah, and they could only do like 12th place.
Yeah, but and it still was slow. So
I know.
What was really gained?
I know. I cheered for them hard though. I wanted them to be great. Fun fact: Peugeot sells an FIA rated Peugeot Sport branded multi-layer racing suit. Hanging in their thing.
Yeah.
$600. That's it.
So you gonna buy one?
Like, it's kind of hard not to. Like,
That seems cheap.
It is.
That seems
I thought it was a fucking joke. I didn't think it was right because like they had one that was like just.
Can
like
you buy that? Like, can you go online and buy it right now?
Yes. That's why I didn't buy it there.
So Robbie's next suit's gonna say Peugeot Sport on. You're gonna look like you're a Peugeot driver.
Well, it's like half the price of like an Alpine Stars.
I mean, I don't know why you
for the same rating.
Robbie, you're gonna blow up their spot, and everyone's gonna start buying.
Fucking
those.
crazy! I couldn't believe it. Like, it's because like they had one that was obviously
$600 is.
It wasn't rated at all. Like it was just like a single layer, like one piece, almost like a costume, like a costume.
Something I could wear as a WRL pit crew.
Not even that. I don't think.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it's like not. It's like no rating. It's like it's just a singlet basically.
They make great jackets.
Yeah, so it's like that. But that was literally like $100 or €100 or whatever.
Okay.
And then the actual FIA rated suit was like $600. I couldn't believe it. I went and grabbed one. And I was like, dude, it's $600. and we both were like, then I was like, dude, this is a really nice suit for $600. And we both argued with each other about like, do we just fucking buy this right now? And then I pulled it up on their website. I was like, I can buy it on the website and we'll ship it to the house right now.
Dusty's looking at one right now, going, I think I might have to buy that.
Isn't that crazy?
I'm just trying to find it, but yeah,
it should be on the Peugeot Sport website. It was when I looked it up.
It was probably a Le Mans exclusive.
No,
thing
it wasn't.
And they took it down.
It wasn't. The website had no sale. I mean, that's just what the price was.
Yeah.
So, and maybe it's only a single layer, and I didn't look hard enough into it. But still, it had the FIA rating on it.
Huh.
Those cars are still so good looking.
I wanted them to win so badly, or at least be competitive.
And I'm just a sucker for Nardo Gray and Dayglow and white and black.
Yes.
And chunky, asymmetric, spotty liveries. Yeah.
I mean, they weren't competitive because they were still like, they were hovering around like, I don't know, like 12th place at best.
Uh-huh.
But at the same time, it's like the top 15 were all on the same lap. So, like, I mean, all it took was like one thing to go wrong. It was so like everything was so fucking competitive. The race was so good.
That's probably the fastest you've ever seen anything go, too, isn't it?
I've been inside a car going 190.
Well, no, I mean like on a track. Those are probably the fastest cars you've ever seen on a track.
Yeah, probably.
Because you've never been to a Formula One race.
Not yet, no.
So, like, those kind of like redefine your thought of like,
well, the problem
how
is
hard a car can turn a corner and shit like that. Like, holy fuck,
they're moving.
Because I know watching the in car. I mean, I haven't watched any of the in car for the new hypercar class, but like the old LMP1 cars, it's like this is fast forward, right?
Yeah,
this is like 1.5 times speed, right?
Fucking.
There's no way he just did that corner at that.
Yeah, watch them take one.
Yeah.
Like that.
Yeah.
Oh man, and then like all the LMP2 cars would like, you just hear them like fuck up their braking into two. It was that because we had seats. It's like that's one thing I would recommend. Like if you can get seats.
Yeah.
Because you get a general admission ticket, and that gives you access to like everything, right?
Right.
Obviously, except for like
the grandstands.
Like yeah. So,
but you're not going to want to like carry a lawn chair around with you all day long.
No, and that's what most people do. So like, skip ahead a little bit. I have a picture of us like how freaking crowded it was.
Oh my god!
Yeah, so it's like that, everywhere. Right. It's not just like, oh, it's really busy in this one spot. No, it is that way.
Well, there's 300,000 people there.
And everyone's standing up against the fence. It's 20 people deep.
Yeah.
Like when the race starts, there's not a place to be had if you don't have a seat. Like you have to be 8 feet tall or have been standing at the fence all goddamn day.
Since Tuesday.
Yeah. Yeah. So
since you guys were in Chicago.
I'm a hard pass on that.
Yeah. So if that's my huge recommendation. If you go, pay the money to have a dedicated seat.
Right.
Doesn't matter where. Like we had 2 seats to split amongst us that we constantly would trade off to give someone a place to go sit for a little bit. That,
right.
Besides Brandon with the McLaren suite.
Jerk.
Yeah, so that was where we would sit. Like it was the right by turn 2, the Goodyear, right before the bridge, right before the Dunlop Bridge.
Yeah.
That's where we had our seats at. So
okay.
yeah, it was perfect for like when it kind of drizzled a little bit. You'd sit there, you're not getting wet. But yeah, it's when there's 300,000 people. There's really not a lot of places to sit and be. And so that's my huge recommendation if you go. Buy seats, and that's where I would recommend getting seats.
Were people pretty good about like not being in your seat when you showed up there to take it?
They legitimately had security.
Okay.
So like you had to scan in
okay.
To go take your seats.
Okay.
And the only time it really mattered was the beginning and end, because then they're actually full. Because like after the first couple hours, people kind of trickle out. Either go wander, leave. Yeah, so it's not bad.
That reminds me of an old, like in CarCraft magazine way back when they had like what's hot, what's not.
Yep.
And after Le Mans one year, they had what's hot the first hour and the last hour of the 24 hour. What's not the 22 hours in between.
I mean, they're not wrong.
Nope. It's a long couple days.
It's a battle.
Yeah.
I mean,
So Wednesday we basically walked everywhere that we could that had things going on in that first couple turns area. We didn't venture down to we went to the main straight just to kind of be there because it's kind of cool to see the testing and stuff. But it's like they're just driving straight. It's kind of boring. Like if it's the race not starting or ending, that's just cars going straight.
Yeah.
And then you have to, and it's the loudest place because everything just echoes really bad. It's legitimately the only place you need earplugs is the front straight.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So that's why we bought them, is because we wanted to go sit and watch that for a while. And then if you didn't have earplugs, people didn't stick around very long.
Right.
Because it was just deafening.
Yeah, it sounds like the front straight at Coda between the main
it's
grandstand
pretty
and the pit
awful there
building.
with the right car.
Yep.
Even just a couple of like lower level time attack cars is crazy loud.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it takes a loud car and like triples it.
Yep.
So like I think those are like $5 or whatever. So I bought it, and then I had like the little commemorative case. So
it's a fancy little deal.
Yeah, so it's kind of nice. You could use them and then put them in your pocket.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we sat and watched that for a little while. Just it was a cool spot, and they had the TV right across from the start finish line, so you can kind of see what else is going on too, and see like lap times and all that. So we ventured over there, but we didn't venture over to like the Ferris wheel and like the carnival stuff, because they legitimately have like a carnival.
Yeah, it seems to be, because like even they have that at like Daytona and stuff too, I think. So I think that's just kind of a 24-hour thing,
which makes sense.
Yeah.
Yeah, they revealed that Mustang. What do you call that? The GTD.
GTD, I think. It's not the dark horse.
The $325,000 Mustang.
Yeah,
which is absurd.
We live in a weird time,
but it is.
Well, it's essentially just a GT3 car with license plates.
Yeah, it's amazing.
Yeah, that's pretty cool.
So like the one thing that we made sure to do on Wednesday was to go to the museum.
So they have a full-time museum.
They have a full-time museum there, and
there's some ridiculous machinery in it, I'm sure.
Pure pornography.
Right.
Pure pornography.
Right.
So
is there a McLaren F1 in there?
No.
Damn it.
We'll get there. Yeah, so like Wednesday, Thursday would be the time to go to the museum.
Right.
Because Friday, Saturday, Sunday,
it's just too many people.
It's a line out the door. Like
right.
And up the block. Like we're talking 100 people deep. Because there's probably even more than that now that I think about it. But yeah, so again, it's included in the ticket. You just got to scan it.
Is it like a 10-minute deal?
An hour, at least an hour.
Okay, so it's a decent sized museum.
Yeah. So you go in and they have like a hall. It has like basically the Hall of Famers. So like a lot of every name you'd recognize, like
Carroll Shelby.
You got Fernando Alonso's on there. Like
Enzo Ferrari.
Yeah, Ferrari. Tom Christensen. Guys that have won.
Right.
How many Le Mans?
Right.
The true legends of that race.
Mm-hmm.
And then it goes to there's a room and they have scale models of every single car that has ever competed in that race ever.
Oh,
in
that's
every
so
class.
Cool.
So there's it's just shelving and shelving and shelving and shelving and shelving of these Matchbox cars. It's every year in order. Every single car that's ever competed.
So it's not like there was an F1, a McLaren F1, so here's a McLaren F1.
No.
Like if there were 3 of them that year, there are 3 of them in the...
Every single livery. Every single one.
That's so cool.
Yeah, so I literally...
I spent so much time
I
looking
walked,
at those.
and I just walked and looked at every single one. I was like, oh, that one. Oh, 1966. Those ones.
Yeah.
It's just you know how they end, and you're looking at the cars, and you're like,
there's a 787.
That's the one.
Oh, shit, son.
Yeah, so it all the way back to the beginning, every single car, all the way to last year.
Huh.
And yeah, and the room's huge. It's just
it would have to be.
and then in the middle, there's like what you were talking about, making like a replica, like a slot track.
Yeah.
There's one. It's not a slot track, but it's like a replica of the track with
Right.
like topographical.
Yep. The elevation changes and
stuff like that.
Which I don't think there's a whole lot of.
No, but it has like the trees and all that. Whatever.
Fair.
So it's. So yeah, they have the Porsche 917, 2 of them, and you just sit there and you lust after it and you drool on it a little bit, and then they ask you to leave.
God.
They got
the best colors.
Yep, they got the what's that one? Now I'm blanking on it. Yeah, the Mazda. They got the
787B.
Yep, they got the Bentley Speed 8,
which is one of the greatest looking race cars of all time.
Oh man, they got the Shelby stuff, and then Ford GT40s are in there, like the actual ones they race. Like Jesus Christ! And I took a
priceless cars.
Yeah, legitimately, sitting there getting goosebumps.
Yeah,
That's like meeting your heroes and actually not being disappointed.
Right.
But yeah, I've said it before. The Bentley Speed 8 is probably the most beautiful car in the world.
It's one of the coolest looking cars ever made, for sure.
The Nissan front engine.
That's what I was just about to ask. I found it in the Google pictures.
Yep.
That was such a promising.
I still think they just didn't put enough time into it.
Underdeveloped.
They showed up with a car that wasn't well sorted. It did poorly at the 24, as everyone knew it would, and then they're like, "Nope, this is dumb," and they yanked it. And I feel like it could have done something cool.
Yeah, the people at the top that were controlling the money that was going toward it, they got what they wanted out of it, which was the spectacle leading up to the race.
Right.
Yeah.
And the way they went about it all was super cool. Like they were live streaming practice or test sessions at NCM with it and stuff like that. They did a lot of really cool stuff with that car.
That made laps at NCM.
Yeah, they tested they did a couple hour live stream from a test session with it at NCM.
That's so crazy.
And
I wonder how fast it went at NCM.
Probably not very, because it didn't. It never ran with the hybrid system.
It's such a weird. When you stand next, it's weird.
It's not a good looking car.
and its dimensions are weird.
Yeah, it's very strange.
And then you know that, but then you take a look at it when you're standing next to it, and it's even more obvious how fucking weird the front is. Just how long and
but
tall
it was revolutionary.
It just
it could have changed the game.
No,
I mean it was the same.
It could have,
it was the same people and the same kind of overall concept as what the Delta Wing was like.
God, I fucking love that thing.
There wasn't a Delta Wing though.
Well, that's because I don't think it ever ran at Le Mans.
No,
Yeah, that's where it started.
Daytona?
It was a
Oh,
garage.
did it? Was it a
thing
Garage
originally.
56 thing?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
So I knew Daytona, but I couldn't remember if it was Le Mans.
But yeah, a lot of it kind of goes back to, like, I was reading like John Bernard's book, the F1 designer, and he talked about like it's kind of an aerospace thing of like if it looks right, it'll feel right, and everybody will have more confidence in it, and it will have a better chance of getting approved and becoming a thing. Like, history is littered with concepts that could have been better than what was going on at the time, but everyone looked at it and they felt weird about it, and it made them uneasy. And like, that car makes people uneasy looking at it. Like, none of the concepts, like, everything was so foreign about it.
No. And even years later, seeing it in person, same feelings. It's so foreign and weird.
But it could have worked.
I mean,
it would have been cool to see them like fully develop it. It
Yeah.
really would have.
Yeah. If they would have given it 2 years of development work, but I think the nature of sports car racing, though, like, it was going to require like BOP help to make it be like, it wasn't such a revolutionary concept that it was just going to run away with everything on its own. Like,
well, and if it did, they would have BOP'd it the other way.
Yeah.
I mean, even if it would have worked better than anybody ever expected, we would have never got to see that.
Right.
Because if it worked too well, it would have gotten slowed down.
Yeah. It's the like purists fascinated by mechanical and technological advancement person in me. Like, I still love the sports car stuff, and I love the fact that there's a full field of prototypes running again. It's so awesome. But it's so neutered even compared to what the LMP1 cars were. It's like, it's cool and it's exciting and the racing is good, but man, it's not as cool as what it was to just say, here's the amount of energy you have, figure out a way to make it work.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like,
and you have diesels and
20
V8s and 4 cylinders and all kinds of random stuff. It's just not, the innovation's not there anymore.
Yeah.
2012 and 2013, watching those cars at COTA, and like the Audis would go by and you wouldn't hear anything but air. It was just, and then the Toyotas had big loud screaming V8s in them, and the Porsches were like that V4 that was like just a otherworldly different sound. And yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it was kind of like that. This year was that way too. It was like you had the Cadillacs with like the huge V8, and then the Mustangs, of course. That's like that V8's just an unbelievably loud and a totally separate tone.
Right.
And you got the Alpine car that's just like a really high pitched, different sound. Like you like once like when you're there, you really start to pick out the different. You know, all the LMP2 cars sound the same, so you know that. Yeah. But like, you start to pick out the different nuances between like what the McLaren sounds like, you know, what the Peugeot sounds like, what the Porsche sounds like, and then you're like, what the Cadillac sounds like. Well, then of course you hear that way far away, and then like and then as it goes far away, like you know when the Cadillacs are coming,
right?
But yeah, like you're standing over here, not even looking at the track, and you know what car's coming behind you. And like you start to pick up those tones really fast,
right?
But yeah, so we were in the museum. At least an hour. Then we went to the gift shop and just wanted to buy like a shirt or whatever, and then like that's where we got the earplugs because we'd already been to the front street and we're like, we need earplugs. Yeah, like I didn't buy anything. I didn't really anything that I really wanted. Like I like stuff that I can kind of hang on the wall. I'm not really buy a t-shirt kind of guy. Like I wear Petrobras shirts all the time. That's it.
Yep.
But like I'd rather have like posters or like art or whatever, just like a flag or something I can hang up, just like remind me of the trip. But like that's really it. Like it's like legitimately, this Peugeot Sport thing was like really all I wanted.
Right.
And I'll talk about the other things sitting over here that I actually bought, but that wasn't at the track. So yeah. So Wednesday was just we watched practice. It didn't like they did like a night practice. I think it was like kind of a twilight practice, so we watched a little bit of that, then we went and got dinner and just kind of took it easy. And then Thursday Jess and I didn't go to the track at all. Like Booney and those guys went back and were there like all damn day, and basically it was kind of like a compromise. Like I didn't need to be at the track all day Wednesday, all day Thursday, all day Friday, all day Saturday and Sunday.
You've made the statement before that you are not very good at spectating a race.
I am not. Even like legitimately, even at like a race like Le Mans, I can only watch it for so long before I'm like, I either need to be actively involved in this somehow,
right?
Whether it's saving lives with a fire bottle,
oh Jesus Christ,
or something,
or taking pictures,
or like something. I need to be actively involved, or I just can't do it. It's like watching a race at this level is probably where it kind of like can keep my interest longer. But like anything, like once you start to get like lower levels, it's just kind of like I either need to be actively involved in this or not watching it at all.
Right.
So, So again, I didn't watching.
You can watch at home.
Yes.
But you're not very good at doing it live.
Not really. If I'm taking the time, effort, and money to be there, I want to be involved.
Right.
Or like I want to be doing something that I'm involved in.
Right.
So the next day, again, I don't need to watch another full day of practice. I just don't.
Right.
So we went and kind of explored Le Mans, and that's one of those things that like you think about things that are old in America. And nothing is old here.
Not that old.
And then you go to Le Mans and you're like, that building was built in 1500.
Right.
All of these streets are cobbled.
Right.
They were built in the 1500s.
Yeah.
It's
before our country was even a country.
So like, so we Jess and I just kind of like went to the city center, and then we just kind of basically just wandered. Like literally all we did, we went and found like some restaurant. Like that was like we found this restaurant, and we didn't really ever go looking for any specific restaurants. We always just, my theory was, I'm going to go until there's someone like, because it's a tourist place obviously, because they have people like hosts standing outside ushering people in, or like, oh yeah, come have food here. And my theory was, I will just keep walking until I find a good host, and that served me very well.
Right.
The entire trip.
And by good, he means well endowed.
Obviously. Obviously.
He's got a type.
But
We've
there,
talked about it.
but it, we were walking by this like, there's this Thai restaurant that I thought looked really good, but Jess wasn't feeling it. And then like right across the street was this like just small like Italian or French cafe. Obviously not Italian. And the host kind of spoke English, but not really. And English is pretty universal over there. You can get by. Like we walked into a coffee shop that Thursday morning, and the one guy, like the owner, looks up. He goes, "English? What do you have?" And it, like immediately just completely switched. And, he was so nice. And like we went back there a couple of times. But like this restaurant too is just like the guy kind of looks at us. He's like, "Lunch? Yeah." And like he brings us the menu, and like we're not doing a very good job communicating because he speaks French,
right, and
we speak English, and I'm using my Google Translate, and like the menus are 100% in French. A lot of places have
a little bit of both.
It'll be in French, and then under it'll be in English.
Right.
This place was a very small French cafe,
which is probably phenomenal.
It was phenomenal. It was like it was just like it was I got it was like a bagel with like some meats and some cream cheese and like a bagel, like it was like a bagel sandwich with like just some meats and cream cheese and stuff on it, and it was fucking bomb, dude. It was so good. And then so like we kind of ordered, and then so like we eat, and then he comes back around, and he's like, because he didn't say dessert, he said he goes, cream cheese or no, cheesecake. He asked if we wanted cheesecake, and I was like, okay. And then he's like, he ushers us to the front to the display case of like desserts. Okay. So I was like, I'll take one of those. And, it's just kind of thing. Pointing and being polite gets you a long way.
Yeah, yeah.
So like, got everything.
Merci.
Yeah. So you learn like, excuse me, please, thank you. Like just as long as you're like not an asshole, people seem to be just fine.
Yeah.
Like legitimately, we never had any rude people. Like didn't do any like major faux pas or anything. So it was just like we're just dumb Americans, so it wasn't a big deal. But like just like people were nice and accommodating, and even if they didn't speak English very well, and we obviously didn't speak French very well, they were patient with us. Like I tried to compliment. I tried to say. I think I used the word wonderful. And I tried to say it in French, and I can't think what it is now. But like I Google Translate, and I'm like practicing. I was like, because I wanted to say all of this was wonderful,
right?
And I don't think that translates the same way because I think it almost translated into like all of this was beautiful, but he knew what I was trying to say.
Yeah,
and it was just and like they don't tip over in France. In France they don't expect to tip. So like that was one of the things too. Like we're trying to figure out like what countries we tip in and what ones they don't expect it. And so it was just, but it was, wonderful food. We just kind of went and saw the ruins that had been there, since forever.
Literally.
We went and toured a cathedral that was, I think 900 and something years old.
So crazy.
Just the architecture and like the age of all the stuff that's there. It's just like unbelievable. It's like truly unbelievable. Like, cause like we walked into the cathedral, and I just kind of like stopped. I'm just like blown away at the fact that this was built 1,000 years ago, and like Jess actually teared up. Like it's just so unbelievable,
right?
And again, it's beautiful. Like it's 30 feet tall ceilings. It's just unbelievable, and so like what was kind of cool is that there's they shared a parking lot, and then across the way was like a small art studio. And I just kind of like looked in, and I was like, he's got all like race car art. Like he's painting stuff from the race.
Right.
And we ended up talking to him for like 20 minutes, and he apparently went to NYU for college. So he spoke really good English. And so like we walk in and like having a really nice conversation, and like, so every year he picks a couple different colors that he likes. And last year it was like blues and pinks. And then he paints the race or race cars from that year, and this year it was going to be red and yellow for Ferrari. Last year was blue and pink. So just kind of like blown away at his art, and I thought it was really cool. And I was like, man, that's the type of stuff I actually like to bring home.
Right.
So I actually bought this art piece.
So that's he hand painted.
This is a reprint.
A print. Okay.
Yeah. So like, but he had the actual painting there, and then like you could buy it like, the size of this King Motorsports thing. You could buy big ones like this. These weren't very expensive, but I also needed something I could fit in my backpack that I wouldn't destroy.
Right.
So that's what I wanted. So that was like the one thing I paid for, and the only thing I cared about getting home.
Right.
Yeah, it was super cool.
Huh.
And then as soon as we walk out of the cathedral, I see this 2002 Toyota RAV4 two-door.
Robbie.
And and of course, everything's a manual transmission over there, Adam. Literally everything.
Yeah, probably.
And I'm so mad because America didn't get the 2002 Toyota RAV4 with a two-door and a 5-speed.
That's a unicorn of a RAV4 for you?
It is. I was blown away.
Christ.
I told you to just pack it away in your suitcase.
I know. I bet it's not even that expensive. I bet they're not even expensive there.
Probably not. Nobody thinks it's special, Robbie.
No, it was special to me. Then obviously we just kind of hung out on Thursday. We go back on Friday, watch hang out at the track, watch qualifying. They do the big parade through the city. That's one thing I'm totally fine skipping.
You've seen a parade before?
I don't know if I even saved the picture. I don't think I did. I meant to save the picture.
What was it?
So there's like some crazy car I'd never seen before that was like this super hyper car. I think it was probably like hydrogen or something.
Okay.
But yeah, so like in America, when we do parades, everyone lines up the street. Standard. They do that there too.
Yeah.
And then you have like just floats and
one
shit.
After the other,
one after the other. And it goes on until it's done.
Yep.
There, the parade was 3 hours long.
Oh, fuck that.
And I think I lasted an hour before I finally said, there's no goddamn cars here or drivers or anybody.
Right.
It's just like I'm standing here and you see like one thing go.
What is it?
Like, it's just like, so like every team has like drivers in like a convertible or whatever, and they'll throw out like swag and stuff. But then like they also had like people that were a part of it. So like Alpine was there, but it's like then they had like 100 Alpine A10s go through. Nothing special about them. They're everywhere.
Right.
So then they just had like their thing, and then they had like 100 Alpine A10s go through.
Yeah.
And then you waited forever for the next thing. Then they finally got to the drivers, and then they were so spaced out. Like I got.
It just felt disorganized.
It took forever. Huh. And then, it just I wasn't about to sit there for 3 hours just to to lean over somebody to see, because they were like not even that close to us.
Right.
I already got my Peugeot Sport flag. I don't care.
Right.
So like we only stuck around for the parade a little bit on Friday before we finally just said this is not good. But I don't think there's anything remarkable leading up to that. No, not really. So then we go to the race for the race, and the weather's like, it's cloudy, it's not great, it's kind of chilly. It's obviously going to rain throughout the week, throughout the night, and like the whole race. So we get situated. They had they were kind enough to let me use one of the seats to watch the start of the race. So like they do like a whole deal. They have the flyovers. They have the helicopter come in and drop an army guy down with the trophy.
Oh, so fancy!
So it's a whole deal.
Oh Jesus, that's kind of silly.
So
like, what happens? Yeah. Oh, he
he repels down with the trophy,
Jesus,
and then they hand it off. Then they take that to the start finish line.
Okay,
so that's a whole part of the ceremony. So I had a bunch of pictures. Then they had a flyover. Like they love their ceremonies.
Oh yeah,
it's a whole thing. Like, if the race starts at 4, the ceremony started at like 2:30, and like had all this stuff going. Like, and
the race might actually end up starting at 4:30 because we got to finish the ceremony.
The race starts on time, but it was like they had ceremony after ceremony to like get it ready, and then
I mean, the phrase "pomp and circumstance" is French, right? Like that's.
So the race. Do they still? They don't do the Le Mans start anymore.
Oh God,
right?
no!
They
haven't done that
right?
in decades.
Okay, I didn't think so. So do they do like a formation lap?
Yes.
Is it a standing start?
No.
It's a paced start.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, it kind of reminds me of the beginning and the end of a soccer game. Like the cars are coming around, and there's it's a little bit informal because the grid is split.
Yeah, so there's 2 pace cars.
That makes sense. Yeah, with the disparity in speed, that makes sense.
And they're like trying to time it where they come across right at the top of the hour, but it like ends up being a little bit off. And then, it always feels a little bit weird because the track's so damn long. Like,
because that was what I was wondering. Like, do they do a full lap?
Full lap.
A full formation lap? They don't have like an in where they come in like on the Porsche curves and just do the second third or the last third of the track?
Nope, whole thing.
Woof. Okay.
Yep.
Okay.
So yeah, it's like that was again, that was, I wouldn't call it a complaint. It was just kind of like, you have to get to your seat. You got to watch all the build up and like, and of course, like they do a pretty good job of like changing the announcers over the intercom. Like they'll have like the French announcers, then they'll have the English announcers, then they'll have like other languages, and like so they'll actually constantly continue to make announcements and updates in different languages throughout the whole track, like throughout the whole race.
Yeah.
So it's kind of cool. Like you can keep track of what's going on by watching one of the screens that are peppered everywhere.
Yeah.
So you kind of know the actual order. And then there's actually good cell service the whole time, so you could check your phone. You could send pictures, stuff like that. Like your data actually worked.
That's an impressive feat.
Yeah. So wait a minute. Honestly. There's 330,000 people there.
Yep.
And your cell phone worked.
I can tell you
what the hell is South Haven, Michigan?
Well, because they don't. That I guarantee is not that way today.
It's that way that week.
A lot of that stuff is brought in and temporarily set up. I'm sure
they bring in auxiliary towers for it.
U.S. Cellular is not going to set up for a grid life event.
AT&T should,
but they're not going to. You know what I mean? Like that's just not how it
Midwest
works.
Festival presented by AT&T should do that.
Now we're talking.
So
yeah, so then you just kind of you get situated, you get your spot, you watch the start of the race. Again, like I would highly recommend if you're gonna go to get seats. We watched for a while, then we all kind of grouped up together and we walked around and watched the race from different spots. Like walked all the way down to Tete Rouge so we could watch that because that's really a fun place to be because the cars come flying by coming into that corner. Then you obviously want to go there at night. It's really fun to watch that at night.
yeah,
Because you can see them come over. You can see them come under the bridge, and they kind of disappear. And then they take the corners, and then they, you can see them come around, and then like just flying by you right before they take that corner. Then, so that's just super exciting. I thought Jess was gonna be over it, long before then. Like especially when it was like misting and raining, because like in Le Mans it rains like kind of. It's not just like a rain; it's just kind of like a weird mist.
Yeah,
and it would kind of come and go. So we'd get to, I think we got to like, it was starting to get dark out and she's kind of like, yeah, I'm cold. I'm over it. And so like, we'll do this, and then we'll go. And like, before you knew it, like they had a pretty long safety car for like an hour. And we kind of stuck it out for that. We watched, they got going again. They got everything, it took forever to get everything like reorganized and to go back out. And then we watched that for a while, and it got to be about 12:30, and like she was over it. Even I was pretty tired and kind of over it, and like it was clearly gonna start raining again. And like so, we got back to the flat, and like got cleaned up. We're laying in bed, and it just downpours. And like the flat we had like a skylight above where we're sleeping, and it was so loud I couldn't sleep. And we're miles from the track, right?
that was my other question. How close? Like, do you hop a train, or how are you?
Yeah, we hop a train.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, because we had like a 10 pass thing, so you could take the train 10 times.
Oh, okay.
And I think we had 1 or 2 left, and we just kept using it all week. And it really wasn't very expensive. It was like $1 a ride or something crazy.
Right.
So yeah, it's like, but it was
Public transit seems cool.
Yeah, it's great. It's super convenient.
What a revolutionary concept.
Yeah.
I mean, I hate people and I don't want public transport, but at the same time, I kind of really want.
It was so good.
An awesome train system.
We just walked like it took you to the track, and you just like 15 feet later, you scan your ticket and you're in.
Yeah.
Then when you're ready to leave, you walk out. There's the train, and it's not like, oh, I got to wait a half. No, there's a fucking train like
Every
all the
10
time,
minutes. Yeah.
all the time.
Yeah.
Like because we went out to go to the track, and I was like, oh shoot, it's coming, and we just missed it, and like as the other one rounds the bend. Oh, just kidding. That one's supposed to get that one. It's like they're not like you can see one from the other. They're that close.
Right.
Like it's so good. But yeah, so we made it back to the apartment just in time for it to just downpour. Then they had that huge long caution.
Yeah.
So it's like we didn't miss anything.
Yeah, I saw that there was multiple hours where it was just
just basically rain delayed, for
Yeah.
lack of a better term.
Yeah.
And so like we're laying there, and this is before it had started raining, and we're miles from the track, right? And you can just hear the cars. Like I'm laying in bed, and I can just hear them.
Yeah.
The whole time. It's like the perfect white like ambience. Like
there goes a Cadillac.
That's the Cadillac. You can for sure hear the Cadillacs. You hear the Mustangs. Yeah, it was. The LMP2 cars are loud, and they all have like the crackle tune. Like it's just pop, 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 pop.
Yeah.
So then we went back in the morning right away. Basically, as soon as everybody got up, we just went right back and watched the end of the race. We didn't actually like stick around for like the end of race ceremonies. Or
You were done with ceremonies?
yeah. So what we did was we made it till about half hour left of the race, and then we went to the edge of the track towards our exit. They have a big screen there.
Yeah.
So we just watched the last like 15 minutes on the TV, and then we were like the first group on the trains to leave because
Right.
those trains are now going to take 300,000 people out of there for the rest of the day.
Right.
So we're like, let's let's just be the first to leave.
Yeah.
And I don't regret that.
No, I wouldn't either. It's fine. I've seen 23 and a half hours of racing.
Yeah,
I can miss a half hour.
Yep.
It's fine.
I got to see the end. Just because I wasn't standing next to it doesn't mean I didn't get to appreciate it.
Yeah.
And I've been there all damn day, all week, really.
Right.
Yeah, I mean it was cool because like they had the hydrogen cars. Like of course the just time that I went to go see them, the display was down. I wanted to see it because Booney was over there for quite a while picking the brains of like the engineers that were talking about them that were there.
Yeah.
So I missed out on that. My biggest complaint, I bet the number of bathrooms that were available at Le Mans were the same number of bathrooms that were available at Gingerman the weekend before.
That's
if you had to go
mathematically not good.
If you had to go to the bathroom, there's no porta potties, none whatsoever,
okay.
Absolutely none. So every bathroom that's there is a permanent structure. There's not a lot.
Yeah, well, I mean that makes sense.
So if you got to go to the bathroom, go stand in line for like a long fucking time.
Oh Jesus!
That was my only like major gripe. Was just like, are you fucking kidding me? I have to wait a half hour to go piss every time I go pee. Or if you're a British person, you just go piss in the trees.
Or Dalton.
Or there's everyone did it. Like it was just like
Dalton didn't make it to the trees.
But yeah, you would go and there would just you'd see like obviously guys just peeing on trees like they're urinals, and then like there's a hill of a bunch of trees by Tete Rouge. That's just a urinal. You don't sit there. That's just a urinal.
Yeah.
Everyone just pees on those trees. Don't go anywhere near them. It was kind of disgusting, if I'm being perfectly honest. But yeah, so like, but we did go and ride the Ferris wheel. That was not cheap. It was like $12 each.
Okay, but like, okay, fine.
But you're there. I mean,
Yeah.
like, are you really gonna not do it?
Yeah, fine. But
Yeah, I mean, it was so cool. Like, it was super fun to be there. Yeah, obviously being at a track, I want to be involved, but I was able to like truly enjoy it and actually enjoy the race and be involved, like be invested in it. Like,
yeah,
I wanted to be cheering for Peugeot, but
I mean, you can still cheer for Peugeot even if they're in 12th place, Robbie.
that's true. And then
Come on, race finish.
I
baby.
cheer for
Come on,
you, and
race
you're in
finish.
35th. So
I've been at 35th in like 2 years when I actually finished the race. But yeah, Jess was like cheering for the was it AO the Purple Dragon car.
okay,
She loved that car. They won, so. But yeah, it was
The mysterious sports car with no sponsors.
Shh, don't
I'm
worry
sure
about
it's all on the up and
it's
up.
on the up
yeah,
and up always.
It's fine.
Yeah, I'm trying to think of what else. I'm sure there's a bunch of stuff I'm going to think of as soon as we call it a day. But
Yeah, well, all in all,
amazing trip.
something you'd recommend?
Yeah, absolutely. Bucket list trip for sure.
Is that something
literally
you
all of
think
it
you
was.
would do again in 10 years?
Probably less than that if the opportunity presented itself. I wouldn't do
Yeah.
every year. Like,
No.
because Booney was kind of talking about like doing that or like doing the historic race rather than the actual Le Mans race. Because I know he's talking about going there, like getting a place and being there more permanently. Like not living there, but like having a
Right.
place. Yeah, I don't. Because there's so many other places I want to visit,
Right,
like Japan and whatever. It's like that's why I wouldn't want to go every year.
right.
But
That's why I said like give it 10 years.
I could do it less.
Do
than
some
10.
other,
Yeah.
do some other traveling.
Yeah, for sure. Or just get really good with a fire bottle and see if someone wants me to save lives while I'm over there.
Learn how to engineer.
Yeah, working on. I could
Be a race engineer.
Could be a race engineer. I'm probably too late in the game for that since those guys probably start at like when they're this tall.
I don't think you have to start that early for race engineer.
I bet you do now.
I don't know about that. I think that's still just a job. It's not like they're go-karting.
I was once told that the key to getting into working for a European racing team is to already be in Europe as step number one, because
That's a good start.
there's enough people over there that are willing to work that they're not really paying to relocate people from America to do it. So
Details.
Yeah, to be fair, for every job that I did apply for out of college in Europe, I never got a call.
I thought you got a little bit of a response from McLaren, didn't you?
No.
Oh,
SpaceX. I had a couple interviews with SpaceX.
Oh, okay.
But that doesn't count.
Yeah, so Ryan that enlisted us to come help with the race team. He was trying to get into an F1 team at one point, and yeah, that he never really got any reply because he said it's too much of a barrier to like for them to try to mess with talking to somebody over here.
Yeah.
There's enough idiots who think that's going to be the dream job.
Oh yeah. Just as many over there that are here, for sure.
Yeah.
Maybe you can go work for Andretti's F1 team.
Have I looked through the job search, or have I looked through their career section? Yes.
We don't. Are they going to be an F1 team?
Oh yeah.
I thought
They're hiring.
It's going to happen.
They're legitimately hiring.
last I knew they were getting a lot of pushback.
Yeah, that's just politics. They'll be
That's
in.
fair.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah,
fair.
no, they're aggressively hiring.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, at their headquarters or whatever. But,
Okay.
Which of course they're funneling millions into.
I assume in Europe because
No,
no.
I
figured it'd be in
guess the
England.
place that they're hiring right now is like in the Indianapolis area.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I think they're going to have them. I think it's going to be kind of more like Haas, where there's a base in England that does. I mean, it just logistically, it's not feasible to actually base a team over here,
Right.
But because the entire industry around F1 is just based in England, there's just no way around it.
Yep.
Right. Well, cool, Robbie.
Yeah,
I'm glad that somebody gets to travel the world
Yeah, it's great.
because I can't.
I'm excited to do more of it, and I definitely wanted to do more of it. And we had long conversations on like the train and the plane and stuff, where it's just kind of like, do we really need this house? Do we really need to be living here? Do I really like my job?
Well, I know the answer to at least one of those questions.
So it was just one of those, just like, am I really having fun racing anymore? I mean, is it fun anymore?
We'll find out this weekend.
Right. Like, it's just, I mean, we legitimately had these conversations where it was just kind of like, it's been a lot of work.
Oh,
It's
there's
been a lot of money.
little to no doubt in my mind that when the Omni's running, I'm just going to sell it.
Right. So it's just kind of like we both have a list of places we want to visit. A lot of the same places. Obviously very expensive places, but it doesn't make sense to downsize and prioritize traveling, or because she can be a travel nurse, we can go live somewhere for 6 months. So it's legitimate. Like we're talking about like making major changes to lifestyles.
My boss's brother, after COVID, his job realized that he can do his job full time from home.
Yep.
And so they sold their house, and he bought a RV and a 3500 high country. And my boss was talking to him. Did you hear last week? No idea where he is. He could literally be anywhere on the North American continent.
Yep.
And he can do his job. It doesn't matter.
Wow.
So it's like, that would be really cool.
Not living out of the camper so much, but
I could do it in a heartbeat. He's like early 50s probably. His kids are graduated. They're out of their house. They're gone. You know, it's just so be sweet. Plus, some of those campers are fucking ridiculous, Robbie.
oh yeah, they're outrageous.
They're bigger than my house, I swear.
I mean, Jason's his RV is pretty damn awesome.
Right.
I'm hoping to sleep in that this weekend.
So, but
yeah,
well, cool.
That was a trip. We're gonna have a lot more trips, I hope. And then I don't know, just no more podcasts. We'll just travel all the time.
Hopefully,
Oh well.
hopefully next week you'll be like, I had so much fun at the racetrack. All those travel plans are gone.
We'll see. I don't know. We'll talk about it. We'll see how the weekend goes, I guess. Because I don't want to get into like all the stuff I did just to get the car ready, because that's a whole podcast in itself. But
Especially if we release this one after.
it'll probably be, I'll say it'll be interesting to see what, because like this is kind of getting put in the in the chamber
The
for
queue.
the next.
So next week.
Yeah. Actually, I mean, it works. Whatever.
But
Yeah. We'll catch everybody next week.